Going to give us some really good information about the UNC Nash Foundation. We have Kathleen Fleming. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Chenoa Davis.
Good morning.
Good morning. Kathleen, you are the director of the Nash Foundation. Tell us a little bit about the foundation and what it encompasses. What does it do that is different from hospital operations?
Sure. So the UNC Health Nash Foundation, we are a separate 501c3, so a separate nonprofit from the hospital, but we do pretty much exist as a department of the hospital. But we are charged with raising funds and supporting programs that are primarily helping our patients outside the walls of the hospital.
Okay.
So we know when they're in the hospital, they're receiving the best care possible and have all the resources that they need, but unfortunately we have a very vulnerable population. When they're discharged, there's a lot of things that social determinants of health or barriers that they face. So we fund programs that are going to help with those barriers. So things like our patient assistance program, community paramedic, our food pantry.
They are great programs. That community paramedic is just a great, and the food assistance.
Yes.
Great. Y'all are so what you really are is a support system, is really what you serve as.
And we are very fortunate in the fact that because we function as a department of the hospital, so we, all of our overhead and our salaries are paid by the hospital.
Right.
So anything that we raise and that we bring in, 100% is able to go back to the programs that we do. So we don't have that overhead that we have to take out of those donor dollars.
Right. And tell us a little bit about, Chenoa, what is your role?
I am the volunteer coordinator for the hospital. And it's sort of in the same office with the foundation, so I also offer with support with some of the programs that they're offering.
And volunteers are very important.
Yes,
we were just talking about that earlier this morning, how volunteers is just so necessary, to have volunteers and for people to step up.
Yes, they're very important to the hospital. It helps with ensuring that patients are met with a compassionate face.
Sure.
We also help out, volunteers help out with other, like administrative needs in the departments. And sometimes they're like technical IT. So a lot of variety in the different programs that we offer for the volunteers to work with.
So this morning, one of the things that I understand that you wanted to come and talk about was and I've experienced this service. I love this service. For older folks that really need assistance getting into the hospital, if they need to visit somebody or anything like that, you have a transportation program where I'll let y'all explain your transportation program.
Yes. Well, I'm 6 months into this position, so coming in, they had already established a shuttle program with the hospital, and we try to offer that service 5 days a week. But right now, we only have volunteers for 4 days a week.
And there's a lot going on right now at the hospital with the construction.
With the construction, so they've been very instrumental in making sure that our patients know the new traffic patterns.
Yes.
And visitors as well, getting them
and that's
to point
important
A
right
from
now
point B.
because it can be confusing. It's going to, at the end, it's going to be a really good thing, but sometimes it's a little painful.
Yes.
So, yes.
So we're looking to extend those hours as well, so that we can offer some maybe earlier hours for patients and then later hours in the afternoon for visitors that are coming in after work, so they don't have to make that hike to the main entrance or wherever they need to go.
Very good. Okay. So you are looking for, this is a volunteer position.
Yes.
And you just need extra people. Now, what is I understand you have a new van.
Yes. We have a minivan, so it's not the golf carts that I think it started with.
Okay.
So we do have a minivan, and so we're just asking the driver to come in and drive for a couple hours or as many hours as they can
As
donate
many as they can,
that day.
can do, yes.
Some of the perks of volunteering, that you will get a shirt that says volunteer. You also get great parking now. That's a commodity.
Yes.
Special now that all the construction is going on. You also will be able to receive a free flu shots. And then there was one more thing.
Lunch.
The meal tickets.
Yep, so you get a meal ticket depending on, how many hours, and then you also, we do an employee appreciation banquet every year, which is getting
Right.
ready to come up, so
Okay.
you get invited to that. And one thing too, that our shuttle drivers play a really big part in, a lot of times if somebody arrives on public transportation or have different transportation companies are dropping them off. They might be dropped off at the wrong location, or maybe they're dropped off at one and then they need to go somewhere
Right.
else on campus. And it's, our campus is pretty big. So our shuttle drivers are, front desk staff are able to call them and say, hey, this patient needs to be picked up here and taken from this location. So it's a really good service for those people
That
who might
is.
not be driving to campus, just to
Wonderful.
move around.
Well, that is a good service, and if anybody out there is looking, if you're retired, you don't want to sit in the house, you want to get out for a couple of days, a week, or every day to the week, a couple of hours, or an hour, whatever you can give, is what Chenoa is saying,
Yes.
right? Whatever you can give.
And we're not only targeting those who are retired, but we also want to target those younger crowd.
Yeah, sure.
Those who are attending Wesleyan here, or the
Yes.
community colleges and need some service hours for some of
Yeah.
their programs.
Now, that's
We
a good
want them
thought,
to come
yeah.
to look at us as an opportunity to earn some of that service hours, and also build connections that can help them further along in their career.
Wonderful. Well, I hope some folks will step up, and this is a very, very, as I said, I used it one time. It was pouring down rain, and that nice gentleman came by and he said, would you like a ride? Of course, I would love a ride. So this is a great service that the foundation, the hospital offers. So we need some volunteer hours. If you have the time, would love for you to step up. Also, let's talk a little bit about the paramedic program. I really do. I am so in favor of that, because there's so many people that go home, and I'll let you expound on that, Kathleen.
Sure. So it has definitely grown over the last several years. So currently there are 6 community paramedics. We, the foundation, fund 4 of those, 2 through donor dollars and then 2 through a Duke Endowment grant that we have. And when patients are discharged, they kind of get this assessment that says, are you what does this discharge look like? Do you have all the resources when you go home? Do you have somebody there that's going to be able to take care of you? And so if patients that are high risk of readmission, meaning that they just, they don't quite have all of those resources that they might need to have, to be successful at discharge, get a referral for the community paramedic program. And those wonderful individuals will follow that patient for 30 days, and they go to their homes. And so they will do everything from medication reconciliation to pantry checks to seeing what other resources that they might need. It's very overwhelming when you're discharged and you get this sheet, and they tell you when you're in the hospital right before you go home, but it's just a lot of information to digest. So they're able to sit down with you and help go through that paperwork, make sure you understand it, make sure you have your follow-up appointments scheduled, and then if there are any other resources that they need, able to connect them with our patient assistance program.
Sure.
If they need help paying for medications, if they need transportation arranged to get to those follow-up appointments. So we are really thankful for that program, and there's a lot of great success stories from that. The the one that sticks out in my mind is a patient, and I am not clinical by any means, so I'm sure if anybody clinical is watching this, they're probably like, that's not even the right term. But there was a gentleman that was starting to experience a heart attack, and the community paramedic identified that and was able to call the ED and get transport. It's just
Wow.
It's just great. And then also kind of going off of the volunteer aspect, we have also started a adopt a patient program with volunteers that's tied to our community paramedic program. So these individuals, they do not have to be clinical or have any sort of medical background, but they're paired with, it's a volunteer, and they're paired with a patient. And they just call them once a week to check in, to, just another touch point of, because a lot of times people might not have anybody and they just need somebody to talk to, and, just another resource to say, hey, I really need help with this, or that, that volunteer might identify that barrier and then connect them back with their community paramedic to help again with those resources.
That is great. I don't think we realize as a public how many people are out there that are in need of services like that. I don't think, we're busy with our lives and we're going on and but I don't think we think about there's people out there that need help.
Mm-hmm.
So these are wonderful programs that y'all provide. So if somebody wants to donate to the foundation, how do they do that, Kathleen?
So the easiest way would be to go to our website, which is the UNCHealthNashFoundation.org. Of course, you can reach out and call us. Checks, we make
Yes.
it pretty easy. But the easiest way would be to go to our website and just donate on there. And we also, have special events throughout the year that folks can attend. That information's on our website. And then we also work, with our corporate partners and our businesses, through our Partners in Philanthropy
Yes.
program. So if somebody is interested in more of kind of a formal partnership and, really making an impact, we'd love to have conversations about that.
When is your next fundraiser?
So our next one is Blue Jeans and Barbecue, and that will be September the 5th.
Okay.
So we have a little while on that, but that's just a great kind of casual event with about 350 of your closest friends and some great barbecue and
it
good
is a
music.
great
And
fundraiser.
then
It really is.
we will be doing, we brought our gala, our fundraising gala back this past January, and we will have it again in January of 2026. So those
Some
are
really
two
nice
opportunities.
fundraisers.
Yeah.
Yes. And, you don't have to go to the fundraiser or to the event. You can always, as Kathleen said, you can mail a check. So they'll always accept those. So anyway, we appreciate what y'all do. Anything in closing, Chenoa?
Just to put a plug for volunteers, we make that easy too. If you want to apply to be a volunteer, please go to www.nashfoundation.org,
Okay.
and there's a volunteer tab. Click on that tab, and it will give you the option to be an adult volunteer, a junior volunteer, or adopt a patient
Okay.
volunteer. And you can access those applications online.
A lot of ways to volunteer, and everybody has their own, preference as to which one you would fit the best with. So we can all do something. So we appreciate it. We appreciate what y'all do,
Well, thank
and
you.
we appreciate all the volunteers that do volunteer at our wonderful hospital. So thank y'all for coming this morning.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with you right after this.